Hi, everyone. It's me, Tim. And today I want to talk about the story of the wig. This is kind of a follow up of a video I did last month showing me wearing a bag on my head. And it's about this photo of me wearing a blonde wig and holding a miniature statue of the Oscars. So, this is actually in response to Interfuser commented, "There's also a picture of you in a blonde wig and I think a crown, and you're holding an award or something. Haven't seen that in a while." Good. Um, this photo, I don't even remember how it got out or where it got posted, but there's context to it, and with a lot of my stories, there's a bit of context that leads up to explaining why I'm wearing a blonde wig and holding a miniature Oscar. And I know it's silly, and I know this doesn't have much to do with game development, but people like the other story, so I figured, okay, I'll tell this one too. Besides, you gotta have room in your life occasionally for something silly. So, the context for this. When I worked at Interplay, the producer on my first two games there, Bard's Tale Construction Set and Rags to Riches, was Thomas R. Decker. Tom also came to work at Troika on Temple of Elemental Evil as a designer and producer, and then as a producer on Vampire Bloodlines. We used to hang out a lot. We used to go to lunch all the time. We both liked Marie calendars. We both liked getting Caesar salads. We did that Caesar salad thing where we'd go to different restaurants around the Orange County area and order Caesar salads, and then we'd compare them. We'd rank them. It's what you do. His sister, Kathy Decker, I met her. She would frequently come along and meet us at lunch. We played EverQuest with her, and she always loved for all of her friends to give them nicknames. So Tom's nickname was Rook. Her best friend Kelly's nickname was No No because Kelly was really good looking, but if you ever tried to give her a compliment, she'd be like, no, 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 no. Sean Craig, who will come up in the story soon, who was programmer on Temple and then programmer and programming director at Carbine. His nickname was Barbie because Kathy and Kelly met Sean for the first time at a Halloween party at my house where Sean came dressed as an elemental from the plane of pornography. And his costume was all black clothes with Barbies taped all over them and one Ken. Also, lots of packets of KY jelly, which during the party he hid all over my house. Which that party was on a Saturday. That Monday, I had a housekeeper that I had worked for me for years, Sue. Sue came by my house and no questions. I wasn't home. She cleaned the house and left the packets of KY jelly on the dining room table with a note saying, "I found these throughout the house. They were in the silverware drawer. They were on some of the plates in the kitchen, in the cabinet. There was one in the refrigerator." So, thank you, Sean. Anyway, her nickname, she had trouble coming up with a nickname for me. She nicknamed everybody within usually the first few hours of meeting them. She couldn't figure out a nickname for me, so everybody had a nickname and I was Tim. She finally nicknamed me Tall Tim because she realized I was tall. And I've mentioned earlier, people always assume I'm going to be short or shorter. I don't know why people think I'm going to be 5'8", and then when I'm 6'1", they're like, oh my goodness. So she named me Tall Tim. However, one day she saw me standing next to Tom. I don't know why she didn't ever notice this before, but she noticed Tom was taller than me. Tom was like 2 or 3 inches taller than me. And she said, well, I can't call you Tall Tim if Tom is taller. Alliteration. And I said, sure, yeah, just call me Tim. She said, no, that's not going to work. She goes, I've decided you're kind of classy, so I'm going to call you Martini. So, by the way, she doesn't call anybody by their real name. So it was sometimes months or years when I found out what the real names were of some of her friends. She loved to have parties, And one of the parties she had every year, she had a great July 4th party, but her Oscar party every year in what, January or February, when the Oscars are held, she would have contests for it. One of them was a costume contest. You could come dressed as a character from a movie that's been nominated. I never did that, but Sean Craig, nicknamed Barbie, he came as Charlize Theron from the movie Monster. So he had a long blonde wig. I believe he had put makeup under his eyes. I don't know. He looked scary. I haven't seen the movie Monster. In addition to Best Costume Contest, she had a contest for guessing the most Oscar winners in all the categories. So when you arrived at the party and you had to get there before the telecast started, she'd give you a piece of paper and you could guess which movie was going to win in every entry. Everything from Best Actor and Best Actress to Best Foreign Film to Best Animation to Best Screenplay, everything. By the way, Tom almost always won every year. So we were just kind of used to it. It's like, okay, you're at the party. You'd fill them in. And most of the movies I hadn't seen, so I just randomly guess. Tom would make all of his guesses, and then he'd usually win. Tom would get like 3/4 or more of them right. So at some point, the party kind of devolves into us just sitting around talking. And I grabbed Sean's Charlize Theron wig. That's the blonde wig I'm wearing. And I grabbed this little miniature Oscar statuette that Kathy always brought to the party. And I pretended to give an acceptance speech for winning an Oscar. I'm trying to remember. I think I got it for Best Screenplay. This was 2004. I think I said it was Best Screenplay for the Fallout movie. I don't really remember. There may have been libations. But somebody took my picture while I was giving my speech. And I don't remember. I probably posted it somewhere, but somehow this got out. And there's the picture. The funny thing is, I think the person standing to my left, so on the right of the photo, I think that's Scott Everett's. You know what? I'm beginning to think maybe it's not him. The level designer from Fallout. Maybe it's not him. I know Kurt Decker was there. I know a lot of people were there. But anyway, it's like the one and only time I ever threw a wig on, and now it's captured in film forever. Anyway, Interfuser, I hope you liked the explanation of why I was wearing a blonde wig and holding an Oscar. And I hope you all thought the story was funny.